Robin was one of the most giving actors that I've ever seen. And he had this thing where he wanted everybody to be happy. And he would go above and beyond the call of duty. So when we were doing Good Morning Vietnam, there was a scene where all the extras had to march, 100, 150 yards uh, to show this big marching scene. They had an aerial crane, and all the guys had these, in full uniforms, and they had their rucksacks, and they were packed with 40 or 50 pounds of stuff so that it wouldn't look like the packs had paper in them. And they're walking back and forth, and it was like 110, 120 degrees. And in between each take, I would go back, and they had these big umbrellas for the cast. So in between each take, I would go back, get under the umbrella, and try to cool off before the next take. Robin would go over to where the extras were, and he would entertain them, even though he didn't speak their language. So they only spoke Thai, he only spoke English, but he was able to entertain them and get them laughing and keep them engaged. And when I asked him later, it's like, what were you doing? He said, well, in a movie, everybody has to be engaged. And so if you're walking these guys back and forth and you're not giving them water and you're not giving them food, eventually they're going to look like they're not engaged anymore. So part of my job as the star of the movie is to make sure that everybody stays engaged. And each time he did it, he got bigger and bigger to me. And I felt smaller and smaller because I was only thinking about myself. And yet here he was, the star of the movie, thinking about everything. And that's something that I've always carried with me and will never forget.
And I love how this is coming full circle with the way how we met, right? At the end of the day, I was an extra at the gym, I was just an extra. I wasn't I wasn't your trainer. I wasn't your best friend. And you still took time. You said, hey, I'm working out, but come see me in 15 minutes. You let me talk. You let me, be a little fan for a little moment. And you said, don't worry about it. I'll be here tomorrow. You brought me your product free of charge. And ever since, you've been a great friend of mine. And I just truly value who you are. And I just, man, whoever's watching, I hope there's like some Hulu executive that they're coming up with a new series and they need a reoccurring individual. So Marshall, I'm going to bring you a lot of taxing work.